let's talk about mentors, right? The mentor kind of mentee relationship, right? Because I would definitely classify you, and you would identify yourself, I would assume, as a mentor, right? You have a lot of clients, you have a lot of people under your wing, and like you had said in your mission, you're trying to push your clients and challenge them to be the best version of themselves that they can possibly be.
Beautiful.
Right? If that's not mentorship, if that's not being a mentor, then I don't necessarily know what is, right?
Yep.
So in your opinion, what is a mentor? And then after that, we'll kind of divulge into the whole mentor-mentee relationship and that dynamic there. So.
Well, it's interesting. Many of successful people will say they became successful in their chosen field because of a relationship with a college professor, oftentimes, who became their friend and mentor after a business. And there are so many people out there in the mentor-mentee relationship. When I was younger, I was in the Lions Club in Bethesda, Maryland, and a gentleman and I became friends. He was a very large real estate developer, and he became my mentor. And I remember he said to me one time, Bernie, you can overcome almost any obstacle in life except for two, bad heart and bad arithmetic. And I never forgot Marvin Simmons was his name. He's a wonderful man. And, he said he was a farmer, but he really owned tall buildings in Washington, D.C. But very humble man, wonderful virtues, principles of, honesty and faith and courage and wisdom. It was a blessing to have. And so I like to take that to other people. When I'm a consultant for a company, they take me into a company. When I'm a coach for a company, I coach someone to be better than what they are. So there's a difference between coaching and mentoring. By the way, there is. There's training, coaching, managing, and mentoring. And mentoring is the top level. And to have mentors and then build your people, your team to be mentors is very important. People that have been able to get a mentor and ask someone, I doubt many people would say no. A successful person, if you asked them, I'm very impressed with what you do. Could I just run some things by you from time to time? And it's a great point. Mentor, mentee. Yeah, and to be a good mentor is to be a good mentee first. And then you can know what it is.
And Bernie, one thing I think is really interesting, because I was actually thinking about this morning, kind of preparing, for our kind of conversation today. It's a shame. You see, I think the whole word mentor gets thrown around a little bit too much, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of people who are acting like mentors but have no idea what a mentor even is, and one thing that I've learned, from being around you and being around people who I would like to call mentors is, one thing that I've learned, you always have to take advice from people that are in a position in life that you want to get to one day.
Good point.
Because the people can only give advice based off of their current situation. You can't ask a broke person how to be rich. You can't ask a blind man what color something is. You have to ask advice from people that have the knowledge in that spectrum. You can't, why would you ask a brickmaker what jewels to buy?
Good point. Excellent point.
And Bernie, what would be some advice for somebody that is potentially looking for a mentor or looking for somebody to give them guidance? Because there's also that thing you see now where people are charging money. You have to pay me in order to give you advice. And to me, that just, I don't know, that doesn't sit right with me.
Coaching today is one of the fastest growing professions out there. There are coaching seminars. I heard one this morning. Coaching is a big thing, and the money they charge is very large. And it's oftentimes very good and worth the investment, but you could be paying thousands and thousands of dollars. I think a mentor would be someone maybe in your profession, at your company. I had a gentleman, Perrin Pierce, I'll never forget him. He was with UBS Payne Weber up in Boston, And I said, what do you guys do at 5 o'clock, parents? Well, we go down to Charlie's and we have some beers and, and we talk about the market and whatnot. I said, who's the biggest producer you have? And he said, I think it was Tim Cullinane or something like that. And I said, does he go down there? He said, oh, no, he's the biggest producer at Payne Weber in the country. I said, where's Jim? He said, he's in his office. He's got clients on the West Coast, and I said, get yourself close to him. See if you can get an office and meet him at the water fountain. And he did, and he became very successful. Just following that, getting to meet Jim, I forget his last name again, but just, who do I want to be like? The guys downstairs bitching about the market, the also rans, what do I want to be? And that's the other thing is that I advise people to surround yourself with people who truly want you to succeed. Because there are so many people, if you start succeeding, they'll bring you down. They don't want you to, oh my God, if you change and grow, I'll have to change and grow too. I'm in the middle ground. There's a lot of middle grounders.
People don't like that.
No, there's a lot of room at the top.
Yep. And that's, go ahead, Bernie, I apologize.
No, there's a lot of room at the top. And find out, who they are in your business. It could be a Chamber of Commerce, it could be a Rotary Club, it could be, any organization within your profession, associations. Become the best at what you, like you said, the best version of yourself. Really know your profession, know your product, and the most important thing if you're in sales is to believe in your product. If you don't truly believe, I couldn't sell guns. I don't believe in guns. I was in the Marine Corps, I was a marksman, and I was approached by this gun company one time to train their salespeople. I said, I can't do it. I don't believe in it. I could not put my heart into it. Thank you very much. Good luck to you in the Celtics, but I got to move on. So I couldn't do it, and just for that reason.
And one thing, Bernie, that's really interesting that you were hitting on, but you never actually said that I would like to kind of speak on and then maybe get your mindset on. You said, get yourself around people, right, that you want to be like, right?
Yep.
And I think what's so infectious about that is it's almost like the rub, right? If you put yourself around people that are like what you want to become, if that is truly what you want to be, you're going to rise up. You're going to rise up to that pressure of trying to be somewhat like that individual, right? And I think what's so interesting about it is that even though you might be, like you had said, maybe focusing in just sales, right? Just trying to be the best salesman you could be. Success principles are universal. It doesn't matter if you're in sales, if you're in healthcare, if you're in retail, it doesn't matter if you're driving trucks across the country. Success principles remain the same. They're universal. They're applicable in any realm in life, right? And the interesting thing is that I think a lot of people get confused with success principles and not understanding that a lot of success principles are the same regardless of where you are, right? And it doesn't matter where you pick them up necessarily. The important thing is just getting them, getting those tools and using them, right?
Yep.
And what would you kind of say to double down on that, Bernie? Would you agree with that? Would you disagree with that? Where do you kind of fall in that whole thing in terms of, success principles and not only getting those success principles, but being able to kind of apply them, right? Where do you kind of fall on that whole spectrum?
Well, I think in answer to that question, I like to focus on, the principles of, discipline and honesty and courage and, the things that really make you, get you up, things that you need. I always say you need a job to make a living, you need a purpose to make a life. What really gets me going, what really, what really turns me on, and I want to get better at it. How do I learn? What do I read? Who do I ask questions for? And success is a strange word, because Mother Teresa was a success, and she wasn't, a fabulous success, and I loved or, you know, and there are lots of people who are, it's not just monetary. We in our country, you know, equate it with success, but success is being, you know, setting an example, helping someone be better than themselves. And on that same token though, I also like to focus not only on sales, but on the area that I think is lacking the most in our country, and it's leadership. Okay? People, they know how to manage, they don't know how to lead, you know? And John Carter at Harvard University said, leaders deal with vision, managers deal with complexity. So think about what's your vision for that company. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to take my people? A great example of that is a client of mine, a very close friend, Don Campione, who owns Banyan Air, which is a fixed base operator in Fort Lauderdale. They fix planes, they got concierge rooms, they have pilot offices, they do all kinds of things. And if you walk into Don's office, it says Don Campione, head coach. Not founder, president, CEO. And all of his employees are teammates. And when they hire someone, Don has 5 people interview them, and he is one of them, but he only has 1 vote. So if that person doesn't get 5 votes, they don't hire a fabulously successful company. I'll take you to lunch there someday. They got a cafe, Runway Cafe. And if you meet Don Campione, he's rebuilding a hospital down in Nigeria, where he grew up. His father was a missionary doctor, building a hospital. If he doesn't go to heaven, nobody goes. He's a beautiful guy. And his people, no turnover there. He can work for Banyan Air.
You think that's a coincidence?
And they're rated the #1 fixed base operator by the pilots.
Wow.
In the country, in the world. So that's, you know, you want to see an example of leadership. And another thing is that companies don't have sales manuals, and they don't have playbooks. They have and leadership manuals, you know. So.
Right, my question for you is, because you have such a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of wisdom, if there was somebody, you know, my age, you know, 25, 24, you know, or just coming out of college, right? What would be, you know, one piece of advice that you would give to somebody coming out of college that maybe might not know the direction or might not know their way? You know, what's one piece of advice that you would give to somebody to kind of lead them in the right direction, or just one thing that you feel would be important for somebody to kind of follow in terms of just life?
Yeah, well, that's a very broad question, but I think you got to first look at, you know, what is something you'd like to prove to yourself or to someone else? Where would I like to be? And I call it 10-10-10. In 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years. Where would I like to be in 10 weeks? I'd like to be here, or I'd like to be, you know, 10 months I'd like to be, get my graduate degree. 10 years from now I'd like to have my PhD and be able to be a professor at or I'd like to work in, what I'd like to do, not so much work, but in terms of my passion. Money will take care of itself, okay? My passion, what would I like to, what would really turn me on? You know, I'd really like to help people. Some people want to be a mentee, if you will, somewhat mentee of mine. He just joined the Peace Corps, and it wasn't easy to get in. It's something he wanted to do. And I said to him, Josh, you know, you got to pursue that. It's really what you, he was so excited. He said, oh, I got accepted into the Peace Corps, you know. And, you know, some people, you know, just want to be you know, not just want to be, but they have a desire to be a farmer, or whatever they want to, you know, who do you want to be in life? Where would you like to be 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years from now? Okay, and it was really interesting, quick story on, if I may?
Absolutely.
Quick story, going back to the disc profile, if you will. My brother asked me a few years ago, he said, Bernie, my son-in-law is working for a major, I won't mention the name, stock brokerage firm.
Okay.
And he came from a wealthy family in Annapolis. He just got fired, and he's ready to get hired by another company. And he had a background, a CPA, and I did a disc profile, and he was very high C, very cautious, very compliant, very high S, very low I, not people skills, very low D. And I said to him, I said, Robert, forget about taking this other offer from another big brokerage firm. They're just going to make you make 300 calls a day. And he called me back 3 months later, and he said, Bernie, I got to thank you. I just got a job as the CFO of a new startup software company, and I'm happier than I've ever been. I get along well with my wife and my kids. I can't thank you enough. I met him a year later. He came up to me at a party. He said, Bernie, I'm loving it. I have it. I want to tell you something. I came that close to committing suicide. Oh my God. And I looked at him. I said, oh my God. I think I saved the man's life. You know, he was so, and they were going to hire him to make 300 cold calls a day.
Just run him into the ground.
Run him into the ground. And
wow.
So I want to take the Roberts who follow their direction. I would help them. I would do a profile for them, or charge them whatever it is, or suggest they do it. Give them some guidance on career planning, what you'd like to do. Not enough colleges and high schools do that. And one of my final things I'll say is that, as I say to all my my grandchildren, you don't go to college to get a job. You go to college to learn how to learn. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And my grandson just got hired by Deutsche Bank at a very high rate, $50,000 signing bonus, 20 years old, out of Washington Lee University.
Wow.
And Dylan's he's loving it. He's going to be in New York, and he just loves finance, and you know, so you got to find our niche. You know, God made a purpose for us somewhere. We got to come and pray to God, you know, and then be able to make that decision and run it by 2 or 3 people. Get some other opinions of people that you truly trust and believe that want to see you succeed, have a beautiful life, and enjoy it. You're not getting out of it alive.
Wow. Well, Bernie, I'll tell you what, and I just wanted to kind of recap that, right? Because for me, my biggest takeaway was pursue the passion.
Yep.
Pursue the passion, and like you had said, the money will take care of itself.
Yep.
Pursue the passion. We're taught to pursue the money, and the passion never finds us in a situation like what you had, saving a man's life, because he was trying to pursue something outside of his passion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pursue the passion, and the money will come.
Follow the dream.
Follow the dream. What gets you excited, right? And
Yeah.
then one thing I want to kind of just ask the audience, what Bernie asked me, and he actually referenced it earlier on in the video. You said, Bernie, what is your mission? Right? I think in order to understand what your passion is, you need to understand what your mission in life is. What you're trying to accomplish, I think, is going to completely correlate and dictate what your passion is going to be. Right? And Bernie, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, just want to mention one thing. If anyone wants a copy of my
I was
book,
going to say, plug your book.
Showtime.
Plug your book.
This is my first book. My last book is called Showtime. You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.berniecronin.com. It's all, because we're all actors and actresses. It's all about theater and drama and life. So, you know, happy Academy Awards to all of you.
And this was episode 2 of the Sit Down with my good friend Bernie. Again, go check out his website. What is it?
www.berniecronin.com.
Check out his book. He sent me a copy of his book electronically. I've been reading it. It is absolutely amazing. And guys, tap into the resources you have available to you. The people who are older than us, they've done what we are trying to do. Tap into those resources. Use those tools. They're there for tools. They want to speak and they want to educate. Use those tools, guys. Appreciate your time so much. And see you next time on the Sit Down. Oh, man.
Good job, Colin.
You're going to see a couple boxes in a little circle. So over here, this is going to be a playlist with a whole bunch of other videos that I posted. If you like what you saw so far from the Sit Down, you'll be able to keep up with everything right there. Right here is going to be the video to my previous video. And then right here, click that circle there. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon to make sure you get all the updates whenever I come out with some new content. I appreciate the support. Let's keep the train going. Here we go.